Today we're going to be looking at The Making of the Modern World, Unit 3, War and the Transformation of British Society 31 to 51. We're having a look at past paper from June 2015 and considering model answers. We're going to be having a look at the 6-mark question. This is a what can you learn question. So what can you learn from the source about? To get level 1, you need to copy or paraphrase the source. You get 1 mark at this level for each piece of information you've copied or paraphrased. So even if you don't understand what the source is suggesting, or you can't make any inferences, simply by copying pieces of information, you can gain yourself some marks. If you have a look at level 2, you need to make an unsupported inference. This is commenting on something that the source is suggesting without perhaps directly quoting or stating from the source. To reach level 3, to reach the highest marks, 4 or 6 marks, you need to make a supported inference. This is showing something that the source is suggesting, but also directly quoting from the source or providing detailed evidence from the source. To get 6 marks, you're going to need to do that twice. I'm going to have a look now at the structure of this source and this answer. So looking at the structure, what can you learn from the source about? You'll have 6 marks for this question, 8 minutes to do this question in your exam. Although if you can do it quicker, you save yourself more time for the bigger questions. You have to include statement and evidence twice. So one thing you can learn from the source is, for example, the source says, so showing firstly what the source is suggesting and then pricking out that direct evidence and doing that twice. If we have a look then at the source from June 2015, it is about the Battle of Britain from the memoirs of a pilot in the Luftwaffe, so German Air Force. Pilots in our squadron did not have much experience. In just 2 months our numbers fell from 36 pilots to 4. By early September we were losing to the RAF. We really wasted our fighter planes. We didn't have enough fighter planes to begin with. We also used them in the wrong way by flying slowly over England in very close escort to the bombers. Of course, the Spitfires could change direction easily, and when close to the bombers, that was important. So we have to think about what we can learn from this source. Okay, firstly, we can learn that the Germans lost 32 pilots in just 2 months. We can also learn that the Germans were losing the Battle of Britain, that perhaps they weren't prepared, that they weren't organised, or they had poor tactics and leaderships. Or we could learn that the British had better planes and equipment. Let's have a look at the model answer that gained 6 marks in last year's paper. So we can learn using the wording of the question from the source that the Luftwaffe suffered heavy casualties, making an inference. For example, the source says in just 2 months our numbers fell from 36 to 4. This shows the Germans were not winning the battle as they had lost 32 pilots in 2 months. It suggests to us that the Germans would not be able to fight much longer in the battle. You can see then that this question or this answer is making clear use of the wording of the question to show focus. It is also making a direct quotation from the source, so backing their suggestion, their inference up with evidence, and then making a further inference what the source is suggesting. So far this answer would have gained 4 or 5 marks for making a supported inference, but the question or the answer goes on to make a second supported inference. So another thing we can learn from the source about the Battle of Britain, showing clear focus using the wording of the question, is that the Germans were not well prepared. So inference, for example, it says we didn't have enough fighter planes to begin with. It's direct evidence from the source. This shows us that the Germans maybe attacked Britain at the wrong time as they did not have as many planes or experienced pilots as Britain. Furthermore, we can learn from source A that British planes were agile and were a good match to defeat the slow-moving German bombers. So if we have a look at this second paragraph in detail, direct quotation from the source using the wording of the question there and making a clear inference based on their evidence. This answer would have got 6 out of 6 in the exam. It was clearly structured using the structure that you have been given, statement, evidence, twice.